I'm this current version of myself. I'm wasting my life away. I'm wasting my potential. I'm not living up to the man that God created me to be. So what do I need to stop doing so that I can see clearly what I need to be doing, right? You have to make it easy for you to do the things that you're supposed to be doing and make it almost impossible for you to do the things that you don't need to be doing. Because you can have all the desires in the world, but if your internal programming doesn't align with that, it's going to be impossible for you to get those things. All right, what's good with y'all boys, man? Back at y'all with another video. Now, in this video, we're talking about the exact routine I follow that I use to master my habits and my mindset. So if you want to see this actually broadcasted daily, you have to follow me on Instagram, which will be in the description, or I'll just pop it up on the screen. But the simple system is, it encapsulates a few simple but effective habits that I follow each and every day, each and every week, to help me basically reinvent myself. So the first thing that I do is a 4:30 a.m. wake up. Why do I wake up at 4:30 a.m.? I wake up at 4:30 a.m. because it allows me to basically force myself to be disciplined, because I don't actually have to wake up that early to get to work. I don't have to be to work till 7:30. So before, I was waking up at like 5:30, 5:45, just to give myself enough time to get ready, eat some breakfast, and then, drive to work and barely make it 5 minutes early, right? But now, the reason that I wake up at 4:30 a.m. is because I've created a morning routine. So immediately as I get up at 4:30 a.m., I turn the alarm off, right? There is no snooze button and laying back down for 5 more minutes. No, 4:30 a.m., I am up. I always tell myself, it better not hit 4:31 before I'm out the bed. So the first thing that I do immediately as I get out of the bed is I pray, connect with God, thank God for another day. Boom, let's get it. Go right into the bathroom, start the morning routine, wash my face, brush my teeth, use the bathroom, all that good stuff, right? So then after I come out of the bathroom, I come into the living room, like literally where I'm at right now, and I do like my morning stretch just to, get the blood flowing through my body, just to, loosen myself up and whatnot. Just do my morning stretch. Stretching is very important, so you need to make sure that you are incorporating stretching into your life. Then immediately after I stretch, I drop down and I do 50 push-ups straight. Now, why is this important? I do 50 push-ups straight because just like waking up early when I don't have to, I don't have to do the 50 push-ups. This is just forcing me to be disciplined once more to do something that I really don't feel like doing it, or to do something that I really don't feel like doing, especially when I don't feel like doing it. Because doing 50 push-ups, that's not anything difficult, right? I actually like doing push-ups, but I don't really like doing push-ups at 4:45 in the morning, right? So this already before the sun even comes out, right? I'm already getting into certain habits and following certain habits every single day that allow me to deepen my discipline, because I'm doing things that I don't really want to do when I don't really want to do them. That is what discipline is, basically. You are doing things that are good for you, but you have to basically use willpower to get them done, right? If you're not used to waking up early, you have to use willpower even beyond the alarm to actually get out of the bed. If you don't do 100 push-ups a day, you have to use the willpower to drop and do the push-ups, right? You even have to build the strength to be able to do 50 push-ups without even stopping. Then immediately after I do the 50 push-ups, I get the Bible out. I sit right here at this island in the kitchen. Take out the Bible and I read my daily proverb. Now, what does that mean? So basically, today is July 4th, right? So today I read Proverbs 4. This is very important because just like I pray as soon as I get out of the bed, I connect with God's word and get access to his wisdom immediately after I do my push-ups. So I read a proverb a day because, like I said, it gives me access to God's wisdom, deepens my connection with God, right? But it also gives me basically insight onto how to approach my day. So one of those verses, or if one verse doesn't really just speak out to me, I'll just pick a verse and I'll just kind of like use that as a lens to kind of guide through the day. So let's actually go to it. Let's go to Proverbs 4 and I'll read the actual verse that stuck out to me today. So here's the verse that stuck out. It was 18 and 19. So it says Proverbs 4, 18 and 19. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter to the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They don't know what makes them stumble. And so I chose that passage of scripture, those two verses in particular, because it shows the contrast between the righteous path and the dark path. Like when you're consumed by darkness, you don't even really realize that you are consumed by darkness, right? Like things that I used to see as fun, things that I used to see as enjoyable, the bad habits that I used to have, I didn't really realize how destructive they were to my well-being. It was just common for me to do that because everybody around me or everything that I was seeing on social media, that was the norm, right? So being consumed with darkness, you don't really see it as darkness. You don't know what the real problems are. You don't know how, drastic these things are basically depreciating your life, right? But then when you are in the righteous path, it's like the sun shining to the full light of day. Like you are illuminating when you are walking the righteous path. So I use this as a moral compass to basically guide me throughout my day. So this is what I do every single day, every single morning when I read Proverbs. I'm getting access to God's wisdom. And I pick out a verse or two that really just stuck out. And I'm like, okay, how can I take action based upon these two verses or based on this one verse? Or what does this mean? And how can I use this to guide my day? Because it's not like you just read it just for the sake of getting it done. No, read it, meditate on it, let it speak to you, and then take action. Like, okay, what can I do today based upon what I just read, right? So don't just go through the habit and go through the motions. Okay, reading, I'm done, next. No, really let the information, let the scriptures sink in and see how you can apply it into your life. That's the most important part. You don't just read it, but you read to understand and you understand to apply. So immediately after I read and meditate on the daily proverb, I check my finances. So I just basically check my spending, check my income, check my bank account. I use a budgeting app. I use Rocket Money for this. I know I mentioned this in a previous video, but this is basically what I do. And this is important because it basically shows me what's going on with my finances month to month, what bills are coming up, right? What miscellaneous money that I've spent that I didn't really need to spend. I can track all the spending and I can categorize it based upon like transportation, like if I'm putting gas in the car, any type of shopping, if I buy like a shirt or something like that, or if I buy a phone case, anything, right? Groceries, anything like that, any type of spending, any type of bills, I can budget all these and I can track it all accordingly to see if I've made more than I spent or spent more than I made, right? So I just always use that every single day just to stay on track with the finances. This is very important. You don't want to be somebody who just does not know what's going on with their finances because you always be broke, right? So this is the daily morning routine that I follow every single day. This keeps me on point. Once again, go to my Instagram if you want to see me document this journey. I literally post all this stuff that I do every single morning on Instagram. Now, during the week, 4 times a week, immediately after I check my finances, I go right out that door and I go to the gym. I go to the gym before work because, for one, there's nobody in the gym, so I can go ahead and get the work in, get out the way. And another reason is because this is like a concept that's called like eating the frog, doing the most difficult task first, right? So I know that by the time that I get home from work and I still gotta, make some more content, probably script some more videos, record some more videos, my willpower is gonna be drained. I'm not gonna basically have the motivation, the real discipline, or just the energy to want to get in and do that workout. Could I do it? Of course. But me personally, I would rather go ahead and get that workout out of the way so that everything else that I have to do during the day is basically easier. Because once I go ahead and get that difficult workout done, like everything else is a piece of cake, right? Going to work is going to be a piece of cake. Making my content the rest of the day is a piece of cake. And working out in the morning, it also, sets the tone for the day. It raises the state. It puts me in a high frequency state. There would be some times where like it's more difficult to get out of bed in the morning. So it's like, oh man, I don't really feel like it. I don't really feel like getting up. I'm still tired. I was, tossing and turning last night, so I didn't really get the amount of hours of sleep that I wanted. I don't feel like going to the gym. Anytime I don't feel like going to the gym, I just like it and like, okay, this is gonna be the most important time for me to really lock in the gym because this is gonna be one of my best workouts. Because that energy that I feel, I don't feel like going to the gym. By the time the workout is complete, it's like that it never existed. I get all the energy back. I'm in a more high frequency state and I feel like I accomplished something because even though I didn't feel like going, I still went anyway. So this entire morning routine is filled with just disciplinary tasks, doing things that I really don't feel like doing, right? But I do them anyway when I don't want to do them, and this increases and improves my discipline. So how does this improve my mindset as well? When you go to the gym, me personally, I'm always thinking about ideas, right? Random ideas just float to my mind. All of the past struggles that I overcame just kind of linger in my mind. And I'm thinking about, like, as I'm lifting the weight, I'm just thinking about all the things that I've overcame, all the struggles that I've overcame. Or I'm thinking about who I'm becoming in the moment by putting in these reps. Because this is another important thing that I'm going to get into as well, which is focusing on inputs versus outputs. But just hold that thought because we're gonna get to that. That's very important. But the gym, you have to realize that it's not just about going through the motions and lifting the weight. It's not just for the physique. Like your gym sessions are literally like therapy sessions. It helps you to clear your head. Nothing else matters but you and the way that you lifting, right? So you can literally zone in and you can become creative. You can overcome challenges. You can overcome mental blocks. You can overcome problems just simply lifting weights, because it takes a certain level of mental fortitude to be able to get through these reps, train to failure consistently, and show up every single day when you don't feel like it. So you are literally building up your mental fortitude, and it shows based upon the physique that you are creating. So this is very important. You need to start adopting a morning routine. You can copy my morning routine, or you can make something that's more applicable to the life that you live in, right? Like you might be somebody who goes to the gym at the nighttime. You might be somebody who goes to the gym when you get off work. That may be your preference. Cool, but you still need to have a routine, a system to follow. Like I said, I go 4 times a week. When I don't go to the gym, I'm still active. Like I do 100 push-ups every single day, 7 days a week. Don't miss a day. That's 700 push-ups a week. I do not miss, right? But when I don't go to the gym, I have a little mini ab circuit that I do. Like it's like a 4 30-second ab workouts, and I do 3 rounds of it. So I'm training abs because I just recently started doing this like a week or 2 ago, but before that I wasn't training abs at all. But as I see that I'm kind of like eating more and being more cognizant of my actual nutrition and realizing that I'm going on a caloric surplus and I need to be eating more, I need to have my abs on point as well, right? So even on days when I'm not going to the gym, rest and recovery, I'm still getting active, I'm still doing something. So you need to dial in these things, right? Because even if you don't read your daily proverb, you still need to read something. Read 20 pages a day. That's something I do on top of reading the daily proverb. Whatever book that I'm reading, I'll read 20 pages a day. This way you don't spend all day reading or whatever the case may be, but you can just lock in. 20 pages, get it done. And if you don't want to read 20 pages, if that's too much for you, 10 pages. As long as you're reading something that can improve your mind or teach you something about the path that you're walking on, you good. But it has to be systematic. Don't just pick up the book at random times throughout the day. All this stuff is done the same time every single day. I wake up at the same, well, except for the wake up time. Like I wake up at 4:30 during the week, but on the weekends I wake up at 5, right? But anything else is all dialed in. Like the morning routine is still the same. Like I wake up, pray, boom, morning routine in the bathroom, boom, come stretch, 50 push-ups, proverb, finances, hit the gym, right? So you have to dial all this in every single day. Don't miss a day. Now let's go ahead and talk about the importance of basically inputs versus outputs, right? Or outcomes, whatever, however you want to word it. But this really clicked to me today when I was in the gym, but this kind of just comes and goes in my mind, but it's very important to lock this in. When you just strictly output focused or outcome focused, you miss the intensity and the importance of the inputs that create the outcome. For example, when you go to the gym, if you were just solely focused on achieving this dream physique, you're not gonna be as dialed in on your workouts, right? Like you have to realize that the only way to get to that thing that you truly desire is the daily inputs. So when you put more emphasis on the daily inputs, that is what you start to prioritize. Because you know that inevitably it'll get you to that desired outcome. Because when you look at this desired outcome and that's all you focus on, you are basically worrying about how fast can you get there, or you're worrying about how long it's gonna take to get there. But what you need to do is just focus on showing up every single day. Because if you show up in the gym every single day or every single week, whatever the case may be, you show up in the kitchen with your nutrition every single day, every single week, every single month, over time, you will get that thing that you were dreaming about. You will get that physique that you're dreaming about. Not saying that you never want to think about it, you never want to visualize it, right? You never want to see yourself accomplishing it, but you have to focus on what it actually takes to get there. It's the same thing with basically just transforming your life, transforming your finances. If you are solely just focused on the money, you miss the focus and the importance of the person that you actually become along the way to be able to receive that money. So if you're somebody who's working a job right now, you're making 2 to 3 to 4K a month, and you want to be this business owner who makes 10K a month, you have to focus on the daily inputs that get you to the person who can actually maintain and make 10K a month. Because I've made 10 to 12K in a month before, but I wasn't the person who could do that consistently over time, right? So if you don't focus on becoming the person, you will always revert back to who you actually are. This is why you focus on the inputs, showing up every single day. This is why I'm dialed in with that morning routine, because it's inputs over the outcomes. The outcomes are inevitable. It's good to have deadlines on your goals, but you can never really just truly predict what time and day that you are going to accomplish a goal. But you can guarantee that you will accomplish it if you focus on the inputs and you show up every single day, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what happened yesterday, and regardless of what could potentially happen tomorrow. You just focus on the present moment. Be present in everything that you do, because this helps you stay dialed in. This helps you stay locked in. This helps you appreciate the struggle. This helps you appreciate the journey and realize that the journey is the destination. Because every time you accomplish a goal, boom, you enjoy it for a little bit. You know, you soak in the success, you soak in the achievement. Then over time, it's going to become normal and you will have a new goal, right? But if you can focus on the actual journey itself and appreciate the ups and appreciate the downs, you'll never be just so, your feelings and your actions will never be determined by something external. When you get your fulfillment and your happiness and your peace from putting in the work and showing up daily, then you won't be idolizing all these external accolades. It's still cool to have the goals and things that you want to accomplish and achieve, but that's not your sole mission and purpose in life, right? Like, for example, going back to the 10K a month, you have to think about the person that you want to be while you have the 10K a month. Like, okay, if you had the 10K a month, what would your life look like? See, a lot of people, bro, you can't even think past the money. You just so focused on the money that you're missing the mark, right? Okay, once you become this 10K a month person, what is your life going to look like? What are you going to be wearing? What is your physique going to look like? Where are you going to be staying? What car are you driving? Who are you surrounded with? What does your network look like? What work are you actually doing to make this 10K a month? This is what you have to think about and focus on, right? Because you can always think about the end result. Okay, this is the 10K a month version of myself. I'm driving a TRX. I'm living in Miami. I'm living in a penthouse, right? I'm doing online coaching. Okay, boom. What daily actions do I need to take right now today to guarantee that I can create this reality that I see in my mind? You get what I'm saying? That's what's most important. This is how you basically shift your identity and get into alignment with that version of yourself right now. You don't think about, okay, well, when I get the money, I'm gonna start doing X, Y, Z. No, embody all of that right now. If I already had everything that I desire, how would I think? How would I act? What would I believe? And what would my habits be? How would my mindset be? Who would I be surrounded with? How would I spend my money? How would I make my money? And then you start operating out of that version of yourself right now today, because you have to realize that, bro, it's always an internal shift first before anything external changes in your life. So once you make up your mind and adopt the identity of the person that you are striving to be, now you are in alignment with that frequency and you can take action to align and basically magnetize the things that you want to attract right to you. You have to stop thinking that, okay, when I get this, then I'll do that. Or when my time comes, like the perfect time is right now. So it's all about dialing in on the correct habits. This also means using the same logic to remove anything that deters you from basically leveling up in your life. The same way that I have this morning routine with positive habits is the same way that somebody else's morning routine is filled with waking up whenever they want to, hitting the snooze button, get on their phone, and stressing about whatever they see. Because you can't control what you see as soon as you get on your phone. You could see somebody in your hometown just got shot. That's the first thing that you see on your phone when you wake up in the morning. Now your whole day is just messed up. Or you looking for that girl to text you back. She didn't text you back. Now your whole day is messed up. You just woke up. So the same way that I have a positive habits, positive systems that I follow every single day, every single week, is the same way that you need to have the same framework and logic to remove the negative things. Because it's very, very, very simple for me to just follow this system daily when I don't have any distractions, when I don't have anything that's pulling away from my attention, that's pulling away from my focus, right? But if all my time was consumed with the negative habits, then it would be very, very, very difficult for me to try to start doing something that's actually positive for my life. See, it's not that you need to add these new habits to your life. You need to remove the old ones, the bad ones first. And you do this first through identity shifting and realizing that, okay, I'm this current version of myself. I'm wasting my life away. I'm wasting my potential. I'm not living up to the man that God created me to be. So what do I need to stop doing so that I can see clearly what I need to be doing, right? You have to make it easy for you to do the things that you're supposed to be doing and make it almost impossible for you to do the things that you don't need to be doing. Because you can have all the desires in the world, but if your internal programming doesn't align with that, it's going to be impossible for you to get those things. If your habits don't align with what you want in your life, it's going to be impossible for you to get those things. If the mindset is not aligned, it's going to be impossible for you to get those things. This is why I always tell you, the 3 pillars that you should probably be prioritizing in every aspect of your life is your mindset. If you're not reading or watching something that actually improves your mindset, teaches you something, it is a distraction, right? If you are just content in the physique that you have and you are fat or you are super, super, super skinny, you are doing yourself a disservice, right? So if it's not helping build your mindset, if the food that you are eating is not helping build your physique, why are you eating it? If you are not training to a failure and actually maximizing the gains, why are you even going to the gym, wasting your time? So if it's not helping the mindset, cut it out. If it's not building the physique, cut it out. And most importantly, if it is deterring you from building your relationship with God, why is it in your life? Or why are they in your life, right? You have to remove everything that does not align and only focus on the mindset and the habits that you need to build to master your life and reinvent yourself. Once you do this, it's not a one time and it's done. This is a daily process. Every single day you start with 0. It doesn't matter how many wins you had yesterday. You wake up today with 0. Follow the same system, same habits, same actions every single day, right? Because this is what gets you to the outcomes that you desire. Not thinking about it all day, not praying for a miracle and not doing nothing, but the daily habits, and having your faith aligned is what will bring these things to you in due time. You can't predict the time, but you can guarantee the result if you focus on the daily habits, the daily inputs, and making sure that your internal programming is aligned with the thing that you want externally. Simple. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.